What is up, ladies and gents? I am sitting out here on my balcony right now and watching the sunset. And I just wanted to film this quick video talking about focusing on one thing and making that one thing the main thing, right? So I started making videos on YouTube about 2 months ago. I think I posted my first video 2 months ago. And it was super hard for me and weird for me at first to make YouTube videos because in the back of my head, I'm like, what are people going to think? You know, what are my friends going to think of me? What are my family going to think of me? Like, they don't know. Some of them people don't know what I do, you know, and some people don't know my personality. Like, how do I come off as authentic and myself, but at the same time, like, people actually want to watch it, right? And so there's just like a lot of different junk in your head and excuses that you make up to tell yourself like why you can't do something. And that was definitely me, right? And this doesn't apply. I'm just using making videos as an example, right? For you, it could be going to the gym. It can be eating right. It can be procrastination in starting that business you've always wanted to start, right? So I'm just using my personal example. And one of the things that I talked about in my last videos was only focusing on one or two things at a time, right? Because when you spend, let's say you have your attention's at 100%, right? It's up here. And you have 5 things that you gotta juggle, right? You have 20% going here, 30% going here, 10% going here, 30% going there, 10% going there. You're never fully at 100% focus, dedication, and energy into one specific thing. And that's why you're not getting the results that you're getting, right? Look at that fucking morning routine guy that just started blowing up on YouTube. He found something that worked. He doubled, tripled, quadrupled down on that one thing. And he grew to what? Like 12 million followers in the past like month. It's crazy, right? And that just also shows like how fast momentum can build on your side. As long as that's the only thing you think about, right? Like wherever your attention goes, it grows, right? So whatever you gotta you just gotta sit down and really write down and sit in silence and be honest with yourself in what is the most important thing in your life right now, right? Because if you say it's starting the business that you've always wanted to start, but it's been 3 months and you have taken no action on it, clearly it is not the main priority for you, right? And so you got to sit down, be honest with yourself and telling yourself, what is my actual main priority? If it's starting that business, then I want you to wake up thinking about your business. When you go to shit, think about your business. When you're showering, last thing you think about when you go to bed, right? You got to be hyper obsessed with this one thing. And that's why I always say, like, and I've definitely learned this the hard way too, where you really only want to have 1 or 2 priorities in your life, right? My friends call me a retard, right? A genius retard, because I can really only focus on 1 or 2 things, and then I neglect every single aspect of my life. You know, to someone else, that might be bad, right? Because like I can't deal with, like, I just don't let anything in my mental headspace that isn't my number 1 or number 2 priority, right? So if it's like, for example, returning a package or getting groceries or, you know, anything to do with like my personal life, I just can't be fucking bothered. I literally can't be bothered. I would rather pay someone to get that shit done for me than like have it in the back of my head and it just kind of takes up my mental headspace, if that makes any sense. So really sit down with yourself and really isolate what are the number 1 and number 2 most important things, because you really can, ideally 1, but you know, max 2, right? For me right now, it's building my brand and making YouTube videos like this. Those are literally the only 2 things that are my main priority. Sure, you're gonna have other priorities like going to the gym, right? But those aren't your top 2 main priorities. Like going to the gym, sure, is important for me, but it's not a main priority. If that makes sense? Wow, you can see my reflection right there. So that is what I'm saying, okay? So figure out what your number 1 and number 2 main priority is and obsess over it. The reason why I wanted to make this video in the first place is because I posted my first YouTube video 2 months ago. And I wasn't consistent. I maybe posted once every 2 weeks, and then once a week, and then once every couple days. I didn't really have a schedule that I committed to and that I stuck to. And it wasn't until I'm like, okay, I really have to be consistent and really put out good quality videos that 18-year-old Damien would genuinely be excited to watch, right? But the most important thing is consistency, right? Because if I show up 1 week, I make 5 videos, but then I fuck off for 2 months, and then I make another 5 videos, that's gonna do nothing for me. That's gonna grow my channel to nothing, right? And so the name of the game really in anything is consistency. And I've had to learn this the very hard way, which is why I'm telling you this right now. The easiest path for you to get what you want, make money, and build the life of your dreams is really obsessing over your top 2 priorities and then being consistent with it. If those are the only 2 things, right, that you keep in the forefront of your brain, it is unreasonable for you not to make it, whatever that means to you, right? And so it wasn't until I started consistently posting on YouTube, right, consistently posting videos like this, whipping out a camera whenever I have a thought, or even just turning on Loom on my computer and recording what I'm doing with my business, right? Consciously, because the more you keep the priorities in your forefront of your brain, the more you're gonna think about different ideas that contribute to your priorities. You know what I mean? Like right now, because YouTube and the brand is my top 2 priorities, anytime I think of something, or anytime I see something or I hear something, or I think about something in the shower, it's all about anything that I think about, right, is related to these 2 things. And that's why I can whip out my camera right now while I'm sitting out here, because I just had a thought and I just thought it'd be cool to film a YouTube video like this, right? It's also the same principle. It's like, how, let's say you want a Porsche, right? You want a green Porsche. I don't know why that just popped in my head, but you want a green Porsche, right? You never notice green Porsches, but once you consciously make the pact with your brain, you're like, I want this car, right? You're gonna start noticing a lot of fucking green Porsches on the streets, because your brain processes so many different bits of information every single day that it has to filter out what is the most important thing to you. And so by keeping in your forefront your top 2 priorities and remembering to be consistent, your brain's going to churn out and start noticing different areas on how it can contribute to your goal. Okay? And so that is my biggest piece of advice. Right now we're at the time of recording, I think we have 925 subs. 4 days ago, I had 200 subscribers. And it wasn't until I consciously made the pact to myself that YouTube is going to be my primary focus for the next 6 months, and I'm going to be consistent with it. It wasn't until then, and that I started posting a lot more, that I started growing, right? And that's the same with anything in life, whether that's gym, relationships, business, personal branding, anything you can think of. Consistency and obsessing over your top 2 priorities, those are the things that are really going to push you forward and get you closer to your goal. And so I'm sitting here in my balcony just kind of enjoying the sunset and reflecting, which is super nice. I highly recommend you guys just after a long day, just chill out, sit with your thoughts, and either journal, write it down on your notes app, make a video like this, just document stuff and how you feel. It's really fun, to kind of get what you think up here on another format, video, paper, notes, whatever it is. So I highly recommend it. But I hope this video was helpful. Main thing I want you to take away from this video is just sit down and really, really be honest with yourself in knowing what are my top 2 priorities right now. And then once you decide on it, circle it, put it in your fucking bathroom mirror, put it so it's the first thing you see when you wake up, and then hyper obsess with it. Okay? If you don't actually take action on it, you don't want it that bad. Okay? So that's why I want you to be actually honest with yourself in what are the top 2 priorities. Is it working out? Is it making money? Is it starting that business? Okay? I don't know what it is for you, but make sure you're clear with it and you know what it is. And then just stick to it. Be consistent. Be consistent. Okay? Don't miss a day. No matter how small, no matter what baby steps you do, be consistent, because consistency kills everything, right? It cures everything. So make sure you be consistent. There's work to be done every single day. And if it's truly something that you want to do and you obsess over, you will find a way to do it every single day and be consistent. So hope this video was helpful. Let me know if you guys like these, random yap videos that I'm making. I personally have a lot of fun because I can just spill my thoughts. But yeah, let me know in the comment. Drop a frog emoji if you like this video, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And until then, boys, I will see you in the next one. Peace.